Catch Me Outside girl. She's fighting with the entire black community.
Uh-oh.
Every single African American person, according to this article, has got beef with a Bhad Bhabie. Danielle Bregoli is her real name, the Cash Me Outside girl. And
Did she comment on Lamar Jackson too?
I don't know.
Is that what got him going?
I don't know if she commented on Lamar Jackson, but see, this is what happens when you walk that line. This is what happens when you want to be down and you're trying to be hood and you're trying to, the ye old cultural appropriation bill is what some people call it.
Ye old. Yes.
Ye oldie cultural appropriation. She's a multimillionaire. She's 16 years old. She obviously looks older, and I keep thinking, I forget how quickly time passes. So I'll think that some people are 16. Like Taylor Swift, I still think is like 19 years old.
But she's like 32.
She's pushing 30. That's right.
Is she? How old is Taylor
She's 29, I think.
She's like 29.
She's almost.
Okay.
By the way, just as a slight aside, no one ever told me that Taylor Swift had a rack.
Since when does she have a rack?
There were pictures, and I was like, wow.
Where?
When did that happen?
Pictures.
Huh?
They must be Photoshopped because
she's a surfboard.
That's why I call her.
That's what I thought.
I call her Skeletor. The picture we have hanging up outside in our lobby, like right outside the double doors here, Skeletor.
Well,
no boobs.
but when you're performing or you're in a dress, I think sometimes they might just like spank themselves or flatten themselves out. I don't know, but the photos I saw, and there were a couple of them. Anyway.
I need to see these photos.
Yeah, I want to see them.
I don't have them right in front of me. I'm just
Where'd you see 'em?
thinking about this. A story came up about Taylor Swift. I don't know. And
Tatas.
Not
Not
tatas.
tatas.
You know the proper terminology.
Yabos.
Yabos. You want to type in Taylor Swift, yabos.
Why'd you say yabos?
B-double-O-B. Boo.
So,
I just see things about her and cats, and she shakes her cat boobs.
oh, right. That's where I saw it. She has
Okay.
a huge rack and cats, Bill.
Does she?
She has a huge furry rack and cat. No, I don't know. That trailer is terrifying. I don't know how they got anybody to do that.
I think it just may be like a padded bra. I don't.
Well, anyway, whatever. My
I don't think she's known
my
for having
point
a
is,
rack.
God bless her if that's the case, because she's really.
Just saying.
I say God
become
bless
a-
her either way.
It'll like I had
because
boobs.
I mean, the itty bitties need love too.
Yeah, it's easy to make boobs. I had one for
Yeah,
one
he
night.
had them for. Yeah. I made Mary laugh so hard because we went and saw Mean Girls last night.
Oh, all three of you went.
Yeah, we were all there.
Speaking
Doogie
of-
was there. Ran into Natalie Herbick there.
She was sitting right next to me.
I'm very jealous.
Who
of that.
was?
Natalie Herbick. It was.
Does she smells like almonds and oleander, doesn't
and
she?
she was wearing all pink.
Oh my goodness.
She was into it.
She was on. Doogie was on my right, and then my gays were on my left, and then on the other side of my gays, Natalie Herbick was there with a guest.
Oh, so she wasn't right next to you.
I mean, if I
kinda
sat on that side,
that kind of
then-
diminishes the story a
Yeah,
little
you were
bit.
sitting next to Doogie, not Natalie Herbick.
and then my gays were on the other side. But
Right.
yes.
So I would have. Which one of your gays was?
What do you
sitting
call
next
them?
to it?
Your gays. You know
my
they're
gays.
you know they're their own individual people,
No,
right?
they're my gays.
You know, Poundcake, that they're not your gays. You'd certainly think, as a black man, that you wouldn't want to refer to other people as some kind of chattel.
or property. They're my
same,
gays.
same thing.
I told Doogie we were in a throuple. She's like, "Oh my God, you must be exhausted." I'm like, "Okay."
That's a
yeah.
good Doogie impression.
Nailed it. I looked over. I said, "Where did Poundcake go?" I can't see too good, Dad. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
No, but at one point there was backup dancers, and it's like a scene where it's all girls, and one of the but they were using male backup
As
dancers
filler.
dressed as women, and there was a black guy back there dancing. I go, it's I wish a bitch was back there, and Mary just starts hackling over my little comment there because it kind of looked like Cody.
It took a while for like the guys to notice because they're looking. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much fun." By the way, the set design fantastic.
Dude,
like
The
it-
technology they have for
it-
musicals now is insane.
It looked like a hallway. Like I mean, pulling back the curtain. I mean, everything's done by like green screen and everything now. But like,
well, it's all screen. So
yeah, it was just screen.
So the sets for Mean Girls, which was I think better than the movie. I've seen the movie once, and it was like, oh, that was a funny movie. I think the musical was better. I thought I laughed a ton. I thought it moved faster than the
I'm
movie.
glad you actually liked it because I thought
loved
you were
it.
just going to look at the chicks.
and that's nice too because there aren't a lot of chicks in it. But that set is incredible.
Yeah.
What they did because it's a bunch of screens, and then it will
It
change
looks 3D.
to whatever they did. Yeah, because of how they have it set up.
It'd be
It's
a
insane.
hallway, a school, a room,
Locker room, lunchroom, whatever they need.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And then the songs.
So
were
2 thumbs up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the songs were funny, and they weren't trying to.
This was media night, yeah?
Yeah, they weren't trying to do like a cookie cutter version of Mean Girls. They updated it enough so that it makes sense to like social media in this day and age, because that movie's 15 years old.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a twist. They changed the storyline just a tad bit, but it was good enough.
Does it turn out that the girls aren't so mean after all?
No,
no.
Godzilla.
No, they're mean.
You get Godzilla at the end, and
Godzilla
that's when I was
shows
like,
up.
oh yeah, now it's happening.
They're mean.
I didn't know I didn't even know they changed it. I thought it was about the same.
Nope. I'm not going to say what changed.
Because I don't remember the movie that well. And like that's the thing, like during the intermission, Mary's like, oh, I'm waiting for him to say this line. They didn't say this line, and I was like,
Oh, she really knows that
she
movie.
knows the movie inside and out.
Oh,
And I'm like,
okay.
oh, I didn't even know. It didn't even remind me of the original movie.
There was a roar when the guy was like, "She doesn't even go here," because that's that's like the iconic line. And then
I was like, I didn't like. Yeah,
That's an iconic line.
Mary was waiting for that line, and I didn't remember that it was
everybody
a line.
howled.
Yeah.
She doesn't even go here.
Wow.
The gay was very fantastic.
Yeah.
They had the one gay guy on the show.
All right.
I followed all the guys on Instagram, so.
I'm a Lizzie Kaplan fan, so I liked her in Mean Girls.
Who's Lizzie Kaplan?
She plays the
She's
lesbian.
Janice Ian.
Yeah. Janice.
okay.
Yeah.
So the girl that played her actually looks a lot like Lizzie Kaplan. She looked like, of everyone that was playing their role, like she looked the most like the actor in the movie, I would say.
I didn't realize because my roommates pointed it out. They were like, "Why do they have the mics on their foreheads?" I'm like, "You never noticed that before?" And he was like, "No, I've never seen that before." I'm like, "How do you go to musicals all the time and you don't realize they had like the mics?" I don't know if they.
Well, I feel like this is the first time I've seen
Maybe
them on
they
the
go to a lot of
forehead.
junior high musicals.
Book of Mormon.
They had him on the forehead?
Yeah.
Well, I was up in I didn't have the good seats for Book of Mormon.
Oh, okay. Maybe people don't notice because they usually have nosebleeds. But I guess.
Yeah, like I was in the mezzanine, so I wasn't like super far away, but you can see it that far away.
If you're up close, I'm critiquing them.
You could see what?
They have like their
The mics.
microphones
Oh,
like in the
yeah,
middle
yeah,
of their
yeah.
head.
We were like fifth
So-
row for Book of Mormon, and you
Yeah.
could see, yeah.
And so it looks like they're all like appropriating Indian culture.
Right. Alan hating Napoleon Dynamite is a very okay boomer opinion. I'm not a boomer. That movie is squarely in my wheelhouse.
There's actually a new definition for a boomer.
Huh?
The definition I like to go by for boomers and millennials is anybody that's older than you that you don't like is a boomer. Anybody that's younger than you that you don't like is a millennial.
Is a millennial.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not that guy either. There's a lot of younger stuff that I like and a lot of older things that I don't like, but and a lot of there's a lot of F you Alan or whatever, but there's a lot of people texting me. They're like,
it's a divisive
that movie sucks.
I can see why people would not like that movie. I absolutely understand.
And I'll
that.
tell you, and
but I think it's hilarious.
I'll give you an example of why I'm so ambivalent about it. Because I think that humor-wise, I think Step Brothers is very similar to that movie, and I think Step Brothers is hilarious.
Well, that's wild because Step Brothers is hilarious, and I think they're very different movies.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, I think Step Brothers is that same yelling, dumb, no-point comedy, like a lot of Will Ferrell stuff, where they just said, here's a framework of a movie, you guys are funny, you'll figure it out. That was the problem with Anchorman 2. Is they didn't write anything. They were just like, hey,
just go have fun,
you guys will riff and it'll be funny. And you go, not always.
Not always.
Yeah. Hey, I got some money here. This is a chance for you. We're doing this all through the holidays. I don't have money here for you. I got a shot for you to get this money. We're giving away $1 million. And somebody...
U.S. dollars.
U.S. dollars. This is not kroner. These are not euros. These are not pesos. These are 1 million American.
Ain't Bitcoin.
That someone will win. Good luck.
Your shot at $1 million now.
Text the nationwide keyword winter to the number 200-200. That's winter to the number 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info, and standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's winter to the number 200-200. Good luck from 100.7 WMMS.
We started talking about Mean Girls, but I got started by mentioning that Bhad Bhabie
Who is a mean girl?
is feuding with the entire African American community. And this is a girl. I started off by saying that I have a bad concept of time, so there are people that I think are still in their teens and they're close to 30. I keep thinking that she is now older than she is, forgetting that when she was on Dr. Phil, she was like 13 years old.
Yes.
So she's only 16. I know there's some people that have her on one of those, you know, the dudes that have Billie Eilish.
Countdown clock.
They have Billie Eilish on the 18 countdown. I think that's in a couple of weeks. I think she turns 18. Same thing with Bhad Bhabie.
I believe those are called bad guys.
Bhad guys. But this girl's making legit money. Whatever you think about her, she has parlayed whatever the hell she does into money. She signed a $1 million endorsement deal for something. She's got a multi-million-dollar record contract. She got a $200,000 to promote some mobile game. She's got a thing on Snapchat.
So she's making bank.
She's making a lot of money. But along the way, you know, if you want to be in the game, you got to have constant beefs. You always have to be beefing.
Beefs
You
or
always
beefs?
got to be going back and forth with some jibber jabber.
That's racist.
And she's mad because black girls are calling her out for box braids. And she's calling these black, first of all, you don't mess with a black woman's hair. You don't touch it. You don't comment on it.
And you don't try to recreate it.
And you don't try to recreate it.
And God forbid, please do not root somebody.
So she is going back and forth with a lot of these black girls over the tell them they glue their whole wigs onto their hair.
Oh, there's
Your hair, y'all hair ain't meant to be straight. Y'all glue wigs on your heads.
That's what she said?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's
honestly
funny. It was like a full. She typed out the message and posted it to Instagram or something because they were accusing her of like whatever cultural appropriation, and she comes right back and she thinks, "You think that stuff on your head is supposed to be there?" That's kind of funny. She cracks me up.
You'll never have more questions than when you sit behind when you're in a huge lecture hall and you sit behind a girl that has like her hair freshly done, like braids or a weave-in or something, and she's just pat 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 pat, trying to pay attention to the lecture, not trying to direct your focus to the actual lesson, and you just pat 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 pat. They just keep patting their scalp.
Black women of
And why
any
are they patting their scalp?
Because they can't scratch their braids because it'll mess up your tracks.
mess up your tracks. Black women of any age are like old white grandmothers. I guess that's redundant. White grandmothers. You know, when they get their hair done,
Not hair done, they get their hair set.
They get their hair set.
Yes.
So they're like sleeping, sitting up, you know, that kind of
They
stuff.
got the bag on.
That's right. They get their hair set. I remember the first black girl I dated. I was
First.
very nervous about touching her hair when we were getting into it. I asked, you know how like some guys when they just start dating, they like ask a girl if they can kiss them? I asked if I could touch her hair.
And she said,
She's like, hell yeah, you can touch my hair. I go, I'm just making sure.
it's over there in the closet.
If you want to go over there and feel it, be my guest. I'd rather have you over here pawing my yabos.
No, I'll never forget the story my friend told me when he said he was hitting it from the back and he reached for her ponytail
And it came out.
Oh Lord!
That was one of my favorite scenes in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where they get trapped in the basement or they're trapped in like a closet because of an earthquake.
With R. Kelly?
It's him and his girlfriend, and they're like, well, at least we have each other, and they like start to kiss, and then he like runs his hand through her hair, and then the hair comes off, and he goes, oh, and throws it across the room.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's a very funny moment.
Yeah. So, Bhad Bhabie is making her share of enemies.
Hey man, but she lives her truth. I mean, if that's authentically her, I appreciate her standing up for herself.
But do you think she's appropriating black culture?
Black people. I mean,
I see that when people talk about like if somebody's wearing a dashiki,
it's
but the
braids.
hair, I know
And like modern, like this is how everybody.
Everybody
Yes.
wipes their ass with anybody's culture. Like,
Yeah.
if I go to Tokyo, best believe I'm gonna wear what do they call it?
a kimono.
Yes. I'm gonna walk the streets and I'll have a kimono bag. Like
You know, women wear those, right?
I don't care.
He wants to.
I don't care.
He's gonna put the gay in geisha.
Am I appropriating like California bottom culture by trying to get down to their size?
What the hell is California bottom culture?
I feel like
This is absolutely ridiculous.
everyone appropriates some type of culture. Like braids. I want to say black people didn't invent braids, but maybe they did. But it was a long, long time ago. And
Wow.
California bottom culture is being so skinny you can't stay awake.
He's a Cleveland 8. He's a San Diego too. Well, all right, good.
man, but I mean that ship has sailed. If she is appropriating black culture. Are you surprised? She got the long nails. She talking like this and like that.
Yeah.
Like, is anyone surprised?
Like this and like that.
I'm just saying. Is anyone surprised by her doing that?
No, that's how she got. That's
She's the cash me outside girl.
right.
Yeah.
These hoes, shame on these hoes. I'm in the Maybach. Hers got repoed, okay?
Right, except the problem is that you make your money appealing to other white kids with all that
Exactly.
nonsense.
She don't- I mean,
It's
she
not
doesn't
like
need the black
black.
audience.
It's like black girls are like, oh my God, Bhad Bhabie is my favorite rapper.
No, I think there's kids. I think she appeals to young people. Like I don't think she's got a lot of. I mean, there's like black or white. I think kids like her because they see how much money she's making. and
Right,
they
what
see
I'm
that
saying
she doesn't
is-
take any crap from people, and so she's appealing across culture.
Well, but-
she's bringing everybody together. Is what I'm trying to say, Alan.
She's a uniter,
Yes,
not a
yes,
divider.
exactly.
No, but like hip hop culture is youth culture, so that's all under that umbrella.
But
she's
it's-
still a white girl from Thousand Oaks or
But
wherever.
ratchet
you know.
culture is not hip hop culture, and I would say she is more ratchet.
I see what you mean.
Than she is. Like she's more
Getting into fights.
attitude and just jawing with people than she is about the music. Like music does not matter to her. It's a vehicle for her. She didn't get into this because she wanted. It's not like she was on Dr. Phil dropping bars.
Yeah.
She was just in there having a lot of attitude, and they're like, okay, we can use
Just
this.
capitalizing off of it.
Yeah, and capitalize off of it.
Could you imagine?
California bottom culture, by the way, is at the Beachland Ballroom this weekend doing an acoustic set. So.
Could you just imagine though? You work your ass off your entire life, and you made your first couple million, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get a nice house in Calabasas or Beverly Hills, wherever. And then you're like, all right, this is a wonderful gated neighborhood, and you pull up, and then
Your neighbor is Bhad Bhabie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd be so pissed off. I was like, I did not get 75% taxes for this. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, but you know what? It just no one decides when they're born or how the world works
I'd be
when
so
they're.
pissed.
I think it's funny.
Bad
I mean,
Baby's my neighbor.
As much as there's a twinge of jealousy when you see something like that, you're like, you know what? Good for her.
No, screw that.
Kylie Jenner figured out how to scam people
so
into her
different.
eyelashes.
Kylie-
She made $1 billion.
But she still
Good for her.
She comes from a dynasty. Bad Baby was ratchet on
A
Dr. Phil.
dynasty.
She does come from
A
The
dynasty.
Kardashians is the closest thing we have to royalty in this country.
No, for what?
You laugh, but I'm
Which
serious.
one's the Prince Andrew?
They are the closest thing we have to
Courtney.
royalty in this country. People would care more about the Kardashians
It's
than
not
they
a
do the first
dynasty.
family. It is.
How? First of all,
That's one generation.
Kylie is not even a Kardashian.
Right.
Yeah, it's Kim who got well known by getting railed on
And before
camera.
that, it was Rob Kardashian.
Nobody knew who Rob Kardashian was.
You talking about the dad?
Yes, the dad.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Robert Kardashian.
Robert
Oh.
Kardashian wasn't, but he was not.
He was defending a murderer. That's
and-
how they
and
knew who he was.
He was like fourth billing
Yes.
of all those lawyers.
People in L.A. knew the name.
Yeah.
People
but,
everywhere knew the name because of Kim getting railed
but the
on
people,
camera.
like the lawyer that got famous was, like, you had Johnny Cochran, and then who was the...
F. Lee Bailey.
F. Lee Bailey, but who was on the other side?
Marsha Clark, Chris Darden.
Those are the names that you knew. Robert Kardashian, I never heard his name until I heard of Kim Kardashian. I heard about that sex tape, and then they go, oh, her dad was one of OJ's lawyers. So you go, oh, okay. That makes sense why she had money and she had the access that she did, but it's not like Robert Kardashian was a household name the way Johnny Cochran was.
Right.
There's not a character on Seinfeld that they were mimicking.
I'm just saying.
Robert
of
Kardashian.
Robert Kardashian.
I don't
Outrageous.
know. I don't know what family you can name in America that every single member of the family is a millionaire. Every single the sister down to the brother to every single one of the kids in the family.
DuPont family.
Yeah, the Walton family. I mean, there are plenty of families. They're just not out there like in
They're not
clubs
TV
and
I'm
shows.
just
stuff.
saying
They're not,
famous.
huh?
They're new
Rich and
money.
famous.
They're because
They're nouveau riche.
yeah.
I mean, how long do you have to be new money for? I mean,
Generations
A
is
decade.
old
Generations
money.
is
yeah.
old money.
Right.
okay.
No, not like decades, but like they have to.
We're talking wealth, not being rich.
Yeah.
Wealth.
I understand.
Yeah. Like my great grandfather was an oil baron.
Yeah,
That
and-
kind of thing.
And money, like the DeVos.
Old money.
Yeah, like that.
Blood. It's all blood money. That old
Like
money
you-
is all blood money.
You've never known poor. like
Like
your
Jeff
family.
Bezos, he's been rich for a while, but he's still new money,
Yeah. And still not the richest guy in the world.
right? Because his wife's.
No.
Half it.
Putin is the richest guy in the world.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
$200 billion
well, look at that.
of ill-gotten gains, I might add. All right, listen. And not the kind of gotten gains that Joe List is working on.
And
either.
not that you're trying to work on with your muscle milk in the fridge.
Yeah, well,
Whatever it
whatever.
is.
Yeah. Just protein. It's not muscle, man. That stuff's snake oil. No, I'm just drinking protein. Okay, I'm going to have Cedar Point tickets for you. Looking ahead to 2020 already. Those gold passes are only $99 if you go to cedarpoint.com until January 5th. If you want to jump on that or get it for somebody else. But a couple of tickets after the break. 35192 if you want to text.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio